You are one of the best copywriters I've ever met in my entire life. How much have you spent in total on mentors?
It's probably in the six figures by now. I actually studied to be an accountant.
Does it help you in any way with what you're doing right now?
Not really. The first thing I hired was an accountant for my business.
What do your parents think of you now?
They're actually proud. One of the first thing I did, I brought a little flat that we were renting out, and it's all theirs.
This is like your main bread, copywriting. People are like, oh, well, AI is going to take that over. What's your take on that? David, you are one of the best copywriters I've ever met in my entire life. What's your secret?
Thanks.
That's a way to start a podcast.
Yeah, set expectation high. Well, my secret, I've always been a student, really. Like, I'm learning all the time. I'm taking mentorships. Like, I'm coming back right now from Las Vegas. I was at a Mastermind with Paris Lampropolis. He was this big Agora dude, billions of sales.
Damn.
So I'm just trying to find the best people, and they're usually in the US when it comes to like copywriting, and I'm just going there.
How much have you spent in total on mentors, like your entire life?
I have no idea. Like,
give us a
honestly,
number.
it's probably in the six figures by now.
Damn. And that's just copywriting, or have you done other?
No, by now it's all sorts of marketing. Like right now, I'm a CMO. So I've really expanded the skills, but the core skill sets has always been copywriting.
Got it. And just for people to give context, so you got brought on board by our CMO Robin Bauman, who was also in the studio on our podcast, and he's like, "Yeah, we need a copywriter. I know a guy." I'm like, "Yeah, cool." And then I'll never forget, you were like, "Send me a couple videos of yours, and I'll whip up some copies for emails." And then you sent me the first version. I'm like, "Did I write this? Like, did I forget that I wrote this once?" Because it was exactly in my voice. It was like eerie feeling of reading something that I didn't write, but it sounded exactly like my writing, like my writing style. And it was literally like GG, and like these are the words that I use. Like, how the hell? So was that how the hell did you acquire that skill of like finding someone's voice?
Yeah, so I started it pretty much my career writing Justin Brooks' email. He is this huge guy in the media buying space. He's got courses, he's got mentorship. So I had to learn to write in his voice. And what I actually did, he also had a bunch of videos. So I was just listening to all his videos. I was actually like transcribing them. So I really got the voice after like a couple hours of doing that.
Sick.
And then I just went into looking at the content, looking at the principles. Like, what are the main points that you would be making? And I just took it from there.
Damn. So I reckon that's like a muscle that you had to build over time. And I guess it's like right now it's easier for you to find the voice of someone that you're writing for very quickly. And back in the days it took you longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like right now I can just listen to a couple of videos or podcasts, and I can kind of nail the voice.
That is so scary. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a guy, like it's like you're in my head, you know? Like this David guy.
I mean, it's getting even worse now. Like, you can just feed it to AI.
Yeah,
and it will give you the pointers on what makes your voice unique. It's
that's the craziest part too. Is like there's now. I mean, now you can. So if you combine your skill with using the words of someone that you're trying to quote unquote impersonate, and you combine that with like AI voicing, you know, that like you can feed the audio, you speak it yourself in a microphone, and then you tell the AI, hey, make this Max Tornow's voice.
You can make it into a video now. Like, we actually tried. It wasn't working so well, but we are really early at this technology.
Yeah.
That we got this basically YouTuber guy, and we wanted to feed his picture, like all the videos he had, and we just had a random guy record the scripts.
And it puts it on his face.
Yeah, it was his face, his articulation, his everything. And it was kind of off. Like, we're still in the early phases, like the uncanny valley, where you can just tell it's kind of weird. But we're getting there, man.
Give it like a year or something. Yeah. You know, and then here's the crazy thing is, like, imagine you're like my freaking banker, right? And you receive a call. It's like, hey, what's up? It's Max Tornow. GG. Listen, I need you to transfer 100K to this account. Yeah. You know, like the guy's like, well, I guess. It's clearly Max Tornow on the phone, you know? Like, I mean, yeah, I guess they still need to have the the passwords, but like, imagine you call like one of my, I mean, I don't even want to give people the idea, but like, imagine you call one of my employees, like, what's up, man? It's Max. Listen, man. don't have time for questions, but you need to pay this, and the employee's like, oh, okay, I'll do it, So that's really crazy. Anyways, man, you made it to Austria. So we're in the Austrian Alps right now in our studio. Yeah. This is, by the way, where I shot my very, very first digital consulting video course called The Natural, and the dating and personal development niche was exactly here. We bought these furs, like sheep furs, and we put it on a wooden bench because it was called The Natural, right? Like how to be naturally attractive. And we had this little studio here, and we had these like crazy lights, and I had to sit there with like long sleeve shirts, just sweating, and we shot like 8 hours a day or so. And so this is always like a cool place for me to shoot at. And then now we have these awards and all that jazz, and it's always cool. And you made it to Austria, so it's like the worst skiing season ever.
Yeah.
So sorry for that. I already told Robin, I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. And he's like, it's all brown everywhere, no powder.
Was it the same like 2 weeks ago or when Robin was here?
Yeah, it was not as bad yet when Robin was here because it was just beginning of January, but it's gotten way worse because it rained. So it fleshed out it flooded out all the snow and stuff like that. But you said you're new anyway, so it doesn't matter for you. You just need a hill basically.
Yeah, the simple ones are still running. So
yeah, exactly. And you brought your wife. You got married last year.
Yeah, last year.
Congrats again.
Thank
you.
Very,
very nice, man. So your wife's also Hungarian, or where's she from?
She's Hungarian.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, we met in the university.
So you studied as well?
Yeah, I actually studied to be an accountant. I'm not really doing anything with that. Yeah.
Does it help you in any way with what you're doing right now?
Not really, because the first thing I hired was an accountant for my business. Like, I'm not doing that shit.
You're like, first thing is I want to replace the thing that I learned at university. Yeah. That's badass, man. That's badass. I mean, one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, because that this is like your main bread, copywriting, CMO services. And I hear it so many times that people are like, oh, well, AI is going to take that over. I'll just tap into ChatGPT, make me an email promo sequence. What's your take on that? Is it going to take over? If yes, when? Will people become irrelevant? And before you answer, let me just switch my glasses real quick because it's after 5 p.m. I have to add a blue light blocking glasses. Yeah. You're not an entrepreneur if you don't have blue light blocking glasses. All right, there you go. So,
all right. So AI, yeah. Right now, I don't think it can replace anyone with skill. Like, I really feel bad for these people who are just getting started because I think it's going to be tough. Like, at the lowest level, we can easily replace them with AI. So getting your experience will be harder. But at the level where I'm at, or where we're actually like at mid-level, I don't think we're there yet. Maybe in 5 years, we can like replace copywriters.
Do you use AI right now when you're writing copy for whatever research or for outlines or something like that, or are you still purely like analog, so to speak?
I like to like brainstorm with AI. I like it to get me started. Like, I'm not staring at a blank page. I kind of feed it the basics and it spits up some crap, but I can still use that to kind of get started.
Can you walk us through the process? How you use ChatGPT and you just prompt? I don't know. I don't know if that's secret or something like that.
Yeah,
like
it's not a secret. Like, you have these different conversations, and I like to like have a separate conversation for each use case. So when I'm writing emails, I have an email conversation. I thought
that is like ChatGPT, or what do you use?
I just use ChatGPT. So I tell him, hey, you're a copywriter specialized in email marketing. You have the voice of these copywriters, and it has to be guys who are published like on the internet. So it kind of has a database to turn to. And then I just start using that thread specifically for email copy. Then I have another one for like hooks, creating like creative ideas.
Damn.
So it's really like threaded.
So let's say, I don't know, I'm your client, I'm a vegan coach, right? I teach people how to, become healthier with the vegan diet, all right? You go to ChatGPT and you say, what exactly would you tell it?
I would actually start, if it's a brand new client, I would just download all their stuff, make it into like text-based or create PDFs, and I would just upload that so it has like a basic understanding.
How do you prompt it? You're like, this is your job now to write for this. Here's some PDFs.
Yeah, you give it a role. Like, this is your job. This is your experience. This is what you've been doing before. And this is what I need you to do now, the task.
And you also mentioned, you said like, I want you to write it in the voice of this copywriter. So
exactly.
do you have any idea who you would use for like a vegan coaching kind of thing?
I'm actually not in that niche, but I can probably Google like the top influencers in that area. And if it's a guy or girl that matches our voice, like it's kind of in the same ballpark niche, then we can use his voice to start.
Sick.
It would be,
And then it spits you some stuff out.
Yeah.
What's the next step you do then?
You just need to edit and pretty much like, sometimes I write it from scratch even after like looking at the output, but it really helps to get going.
Sick. How good is it? Like if you could give it a percentage, how many percentages would you give ChatGPT? Like how much do you change versus how much do you leave?
Like 50-50 probably. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like it has good bones, good ideas, but it's just still really formulaic or generic. So
that was I was gonna say this too, is like I sometimes see it. I mean, with our beginner clients that we're helping from 0 to 10K with digital consulting, they kind of just sometimes, not always, but sometimes want to go down the easy route of like, I'll just ChatGPT, and then they, they're like, hey Max, what do you think about this post for LinkedIn? And I read like 3 lines, and I'm like, did you let ChatGPT write this?
Yeah.
Because I see the vanilla, attention all business owners, do you? And I'm like, okay, this is clearly ChatGPT. But so you have to kind of find a way to work with it and not just let it do all the work.
Yeah, of course. And also there's difference between projects. Like some email copy that goes out once, I'll probably use ChatGPT. But right now we're writing a VSL and we want to like get through an ad spend level.
Yeah.
Like we can't spend right now more than $100,000 a month and keep the same profit levels. So now I'm writing a VSL. I won't use ChatGPT for that. Like I'm starting from scratch, old school, going in, writing the VSL, because it's an important project. But like stuff like if I want to send out an email about some video that we just created or published, it's probably going to be ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's more routine.
I mean, the thing is too, is like what kind of, because I hear this discussion so often, and I'm kind of diving down into some rabbit hole there recently, where a lot of people discuss like, okay, will AI ever create human creativity? Will it ever replace the creation process? And then there's people who say, yeah, absolutely, it's great. And then there's people who say it can never be possible, because all the ChatGPT basically is it just scrapes the internet for all the information that has existed. So it can take parts, for example, in copywriting, it can take parts of different copies and kind of get the ideas together and put them into bullet points and write the copy based on that. But it cannot come up with original ideas. It cannot say, hey, folks, well, let's call it this method, and this is what makes this method so sexy, and like, let's come up with a new concept. I mean, if we look at marketing history, Ty Lopez, here in my garage.
Yeah.
I'd like to read books. I read a book a day. Like, ChatGPT could have never come up with that.
It's still out there.
Exactly. It's like, I think that's the last step that will never be replaced, because humans can create.
Yeah.
AI can only create something based on something that already exists.
Yeah.
So, and I guess like that's what you meant of like, it ultimately at a higher level, it always requires a human to do it.
Yeah, it needs the human touch, definitely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just mediocre.
Exactly. It's this vanilla thingy. But then again, who knows? Maybe it will be able to create stuff completely from scratch and have unique ideas. I don't know. I always joke like, have you ever seen this photo of like a what was it, like 15 megabyte RAM being transported on an airplane from like New York to LA or something? Have you ever seen this photo?
I haven't seen that.
It's like a huge box. And it was like 15, or was it like 1 kilobyte or some crazy dumb thing, and they had to put the box into the airplane and transport it, and they were making jokes back then that computers will ever fit into a room, like and now we have like, my phone has more technology than the freaking thing that brought people up to the moon in the 60s, so maybe, you never know, I guess maybe AI will freaking rock it. But yeah, man, where do you see the future in copywriting? Do you see it move into a specific direction?
Yeah, I think, like, as I transition to CMO, I just think that copy is just not enough anymore. Like you have to have more skills. You have to have at least like probably like a marketing strategy skill. You have to look at the big picture, like the macro level, and just writing like old school is probably not going to be enough anymore.
Why not?
There's just too many moving parts. Like you want a campaign, okay, you got a copy, but you have to place that in a funnel. You have to have videos somewhere in there. Then there's spokespersons, there's ads, all these different networks.
What do you mean by spokesperson? What's that?
Like you're your own spokesperson right now.
Like the person, the brand, the face.
The face of the brand, or just people on the video. Like we also tested like all these people from Fiverr.
Yeah.
Like we would reshoot the same ads with a different spokesperson.
Which is like a pretty face, basically.
Yeah,
okay.
and like it also helps if your demographic, like you probably get a lot of people who match your demographics.
Yeah.
As a client.
Yeah.
But then you try someone else, like you try a girl in her 30s or whatever. You'll probably notice there's more women clients.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's worth trying out. Like we're in trading right now, so we tested like older dudes. Our main spokesperson and also the founder of the brand is like 30. So we try.
Damn, that's old already. Wait, how old are you?
I'm 30 as well.
Damn, good. At least I'm turning 34 this year, and I'm getting old, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
So but we tried someone in his 50s because it's like trading, it's investing, it's a more serious topic, and we actually noticed that sometimes it outpulls, even if it's like not as good as a spokesperson.
Yeah.
But just because we change the demographic, sometimes we get more clients out of those ads.
Damn, because we've discussed it, we haven't tested it yet, but we were all, because like
in your niche, you're your perfect avatar probably still.
Yeah, pretty
you're not
much.
that old. So.
It's getting better because I'm getting older. I also noticed my audience getting my audience used to be 18 to 25 when I was in my 20s, and now we've just looked at the statistics of the new YouTube channel, and it's 25 to 35. So I'm like, it fits pretty perfectly to who I am right now. But then at the same time, I'm kind of I don't look like a typical business consultant. I mean, I have the watches and the polo shirt, but at the same time, I got sleeve tattoos and tattoos on my fingers and stuff like that. Granted, they're like innocent, nerdy tattoos, like the PlayStation symbols and stuff like that. Like at least I don't have like a tear tattooed on my face or something like that. But, we've also thought like, okay, well, maybe we want to use an actor or an actress, like a pretty girl. But we've never tested it yet. We maybe will at some point. We probably will. I know Robin too. He loves testing everything.
Test everything.
So has there ever been like issues with like a bait switch where like, okay, well, that's not the person from the ad?
We don't really get that.
Okay.
Like people understand it's an ad, and then it's different people running the brand.
And have you ever had people that were like, where you hired the actor and they just couldn't deliver properly, where you're like, listen, man, this script sucks. Yeah, we've had that. Yeah, I've had it with voice actors. For this podcast, we used to have a voice actor in the beginning. Oh. Like, this is the Max Tornow podcast, And we also, it was like on Voiver.com. And the first guy had a great voice. And then I sent him the script. And he kept mispronouncing my name. He kept calling me Max Tornow. Oh. And I'm like, I left him like Loom videos, like Tornow, like I would spell it out Tor and then no, and he's like, got it, Max Tornow, and I'm like, that's not the thing, dude. Like, say the word, and they would really deliver in the worst possible way. I'm like, where you could like see them, you literally hear them read off a script, and then they would pause at the wrong parts, and I'm like, hey, come on, man, you got one job. So at least I was not the only one that had issues with that. How was it with you? Was it how many of the actors that you hired sucked versus how many of them got it pretty on point?
All right. So we in the beginning of the hiring process, we had like 50 different people, but we actually requested like sample work from like, I would say 10 that got to the point where, okay, let's do a test. Yeah. And then we shot like, out of that, we created like 5 different ads. And basically one was worth it, but it was worth it all. So
the other ones just sucked.
Yeah, or there was a couple decent ones, but it just didn't move the lever.
The lever enough
very much. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. So now you're the CMO of this trading offer.
Yeah.
Nice. And is that international or is that?
It's mainly in the US. We are opening to the EU right now because there's some issues with the prop firms that we are using basically for clients.
Okay.
So we're opening to the EU, but right now it's mainly US. We're actually around, like, we're at the 7 figures level. Like, total cash collected, we passed 10 million, so that's 8 figures.
So you got one of those?
I got one of the
sick.
ClickFunnels
Bring
awards.
it next time.
Yeah, sure. It's huge. Like, can't fit in anywhere.
Yeah, cool though.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was nice, yeah.
How long did it take you to collect the 10 million?
Like 2 years.
Nice. That is pretty good. That is very, very solid. Yeah. How's the delivery? Are you involved at all in the delivery to the clients, or are you just CMOing?
No. I'm just CMOing. I'm involved in all things marketing, pretty much. Delivery, well, it's a software, so like that's 80% of the delivery.
That's easy.
Then we have like support staff. We have success coaches who are helping people use the software and set things up. Also like Q&A and stuff.
Do you know how many guys are involved there on the delivery side?
Delivery side, we have like 20 people, I would say.
Okay.
We have this issue where the people start using our product because it's like a trading software, and they start making money enough to replace their jobs, and like your support staff and everyone quit.
Oh, inside the company.
Yeah. So we had that.
That is funny, man. They're like, I don't need this job anymore. I got this. That is so.
Because we give it to everyone who works for us. Like,
this is the best. This is the best commercial ever.
Yeah.
You should. Do you have that in an app?
We have that in the app. Of course. That's like.
What is the headline? Like, we can't keep our staff because they keep using our software to make money.
Something like that. I don't recall the specifics, but yeah, we also put it in a webinar. We have a case study of our ex-support guy.
That is so funny. I mean, you can't even be mad at them.
Yeah, of course I would do the same. Like,
yeah, it worked. I mean, do you use the software?
I do, but it's not like for me. It's worth more to just focus on marketing. But yeah, I still have accounts rolling, so
that's sick,
it's
man. That's
a bit of an extra.
You sign me up, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll talk later after the podcast.
we get a couple of customers who are in this marketing space.
Yeah.
Coming over like, I don't want to deal with clients anymore. I'll just try this trading thing.
It's weird, this whole deal with clients thing. I never understood that because I'm really hard at the executing side. So I'm always like, of course, like, I paid money for this. Like, damn right, I'm going to get on their nerves and I'll execute everything and get great results. But then, as I worked more and more with Robin, and he told me about the clients he worked previously with, I mean, he never said names. He was always professional about it. But he's like this is not the norm. Like, people hire CMOs or copywriters, and then copywriters, many times they would write them scripts and then they just wouldn't record the ads, or they would take forever to do it. It was 3 months, and then they complain and it's your fault. It's crazy. Like, it's weird because you pay money for the copywriter to make you more money. I mean, but you still gotta execute on that,
Yeah.
It's the weirdest stuff ever. But so with with the software, and when the people quit, I mean, why don't they just do it on the side and still work with you guys and kind of like wave the flag of the software,
Some of them do, and they're actually in it for like the community, and they enjoy the whole process, but some of them don't. Like, it's a personal preference.
Is it all online, or do you guys have offices?
No, it's all online.
Yeah, it was the same for us, because it was funny when we started, we had the offices in Kiev, and I was very much an in-person guy. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this remote stuff. Like, I want to, I want to be able to look the person in the eye, and I want them to show up at the office. So it was also a little weird because we would help our clients to travel around the world and build their business and be location independent. But then our own staff, our support staff, they would be there in person. Now, granted, I think it was pretty awesome for most of them because, we would go for dinner every Friday, Saturday. We would go karting, paintballing. We had a gym in the same building, so you always meet people there. So it was very much like a school trip that would just last forever. You got all your buddies there. But then at the same time, when we started transitioning to fully online, I could see it. I'm like, okay, this is definitely also super valuable for the staff because they help our clients become location independent with digital consulting and coaching. And they're doing that themselves. Like, they're just traveling around, and like instantly everybody was all around the world. Like, within 2 weeks, people were in Argentina, Europe, US, Southeast Asia. Everybody left Europe. I love it. I don't know. I love it in Europe. Like, why does everybody go to, you know what I mean? Are you staying in Europe too, right? You're based in Budapest?
I love Europe too. Yeah. It's so close to change countries and everything.
Yeah.
Right? Just jump in a car or jump in a plane. It's like 1 hour.
Damn right. I don't know.
You can be
like,
anywhere, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know exactly what's holding me back, because the argument is like, yeah, South America, there's not a lot of infrastructure and things don't work. But still, like, I don't know. I like being close to family in Austria, being able to visit. I like being close to my girlfriend. She lives in Helsinki. I spend a lot of time there. I like being close to my base in Cyprus. It's a beautiful place to be in. And I don't know, man. So, I mean, yeah, you chose Budapest, you said, right?
Yeah.
And you're Hungarian yourself.
Yes, exactly. We got a good tax and everything. So,
ooh.
yeah.
What are you
Good
paying
way to-
tax?
Like 10% business
Really?
tax, yeah.
There's no cap?
No
So
cap.
it's like no matter how many 100K.
No. We don't have that. We have a single.
Ooh.
It's like 10% for the business and 15 for personal income.
That is low.
And there's no higher tier, so you could be making millions of dollars and you'd still be paying 15%.
How come nobody talks about Hungary as like a tax haven?
I mean, they kind of do,
Mm.
but if you're looking specifically for tax havens, there are better options out
Mm.
there, like Dubai,
Mm.
probably Cyprus.
Mm.
But like I'm from there anyway, so might as well.
Yeah, true. Let's just stay here and have at it. I mean, yeah, Cyprus has 12.5 plus 1.75 national health care.
Yeah.
So it's 14.25% corporate tax on profit, and zero personal tax if you pay yourself out in dividends.
Yeah.
So that's decent. That's decent. I think so much about the Dubai thing because like everyone right now, everyone has a Dubai setup thingy.
Yeah.
It's like what I said earlier. It's like online entrepreneurship starter pack, blue light blocking glasses, LLC in Dubai or whatever, like non-dom status in Dubai or Cyprus. Nose straps are now a thing. You know the nose strap, the Hormozy thing. Here's the funny thing. I used to wear nose straps like way back in 2016 already because I have a deviated septum, and I just started putting them back on because I'm like I can breathe better. And I had them in a video, and in like 20 minutes after publishing the video, Robin, my CMO, was like, dude, I don't know, you should wear this. People will tell you're copying Hormozy. And I'm like, dude,
you just want to breathe.
I need to breathe, man. It's breathing oxygen, you know? She's like, I don't know, man. It's not a good idea. So that's one thing. Oh, the other one is glass bottle water, sparkling water out of, the Pellegrinos you see everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Is there anything else? Oh, the Whoop band, the
Whoop band,
Whoop band, or the
course.
Aura ring, one of those two. So that's like our tribe, you know. And but I don't know. Like for me, it was always kind of important that I do pay taxes, just because I don't want to be the guy who's like making millions, not even paying tax. Like give some of it, you know. I don't want to eat my words later if I do decide to do the Dubai. I was like, fuck it, I will do the Dubai thing. But at least for now, I'm happy that I pay taxes in the EU. I got a corporation in the EU. It's all legitimate, you know. So and plus, like, I love being in Cyprus. It has the best food ever. Have you been?
Cyprus, not yet, but I'm planning on
Gotta
it.
come. When are you going?
We can do it this summer.
Yeah. Well, don't go in summer.
Oh,
It's
not
as hot
summer
as-
because it's too hot. Yeah. So probably in the spring or something.
Yeah, I'll be there all April. I have a pretty big villa, so if you need a place to stay, you can probably get a room. Otherwise, get your own villa. You know,
Nice,
they're pretty cheap there, and it's really, really good. The food is so good. Like you can buy everything local from the farmer. I know my butcher already. Shout out to Shukru Meat Market. Same guy. I always go there. He's like, my friend, you're back. So yeah, it's a great place, man. It's a great place. Have you traveled a lot around? Have you traveled around a lot as well?
Yeah, mostly in Europe. I've been to the US like twice, and also Jamaica once.
Jamaica.
Yeah, we had like a mastermind there. I was speaking about copywriting.
That's so random. What? Who had a Jamaican?
It was an AdSkills media buying boot camp.
But why is it on Jamaica? Isn't Jamaica super dangerous?
No, because it was this like super expensive place with armed guards and shit. So it was like, yeah,
like a closed area where they're standing with AK-47s.
yeah,
and
but it's like a whole
compound.
fancy apartment, not
No
apartment,
way.
like a fancy beach and all that. It was like $1,000 a day. So they got security there.
Damn.
But also, I don't think it's so bad. Like we were outside also. It wasn't as
Did
bad.
you smoke some of the local fauna there?
I did.
Flora, sorry, not fauna.
I actually did not. Like I'm not really into it.
I mean, even if you're not into it, I would try it. I mean, come on, you're in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like drinking rum in Cuba,
Yeah.
I guess.
I did a lot of drinking, but not touching the other stuff.
The entrepreneurial lifestyle. All right, so was that the coolest place you've ever been to?
Probably, I would say, yeah.
What other cool places do you recommend? I always ask that to everyone.
I really love Italy, like Amalfi Coast.
Amalfi Coast.
Yeah.
That's the place.
That's really good. I love Barcelona, Spain.
No way.
Yeah, it's also got some international community by now, like
That's
bunch of
right.
nomads and
That's right.
entrepreneurs.
That's the craziest thing. It's so weird. Like, we are the first generation that kind of does that.
Yeah.
Like, my parents didn't do that. Like, it was a big deal for my parents to like move to a different country.
Oh, yeah.
Like, your uncle moved to Italy. You're like right across the border, you know. And then we're like legitimately the first generation that moved out and that had this whole digital nomad lifestyle because we had the internet and everything.
Yeah.
My grandma, actually, shout out, she's 98 years old now, and she can't really leave the house anymore. You know, she has like a 24/7 a nurse and stuff like that, but she actually traveled like in the 60s, 50s, 60s when you had nothing. Like, you could send a damn postcard to your mom at home, you know. And she traveled all over the world. She was in Mexico. She lived in Italy, Copenhagen, and in Denmark. Not Copenhagen, but somewhere in Denmark. And she traveled around a lot because my grandpa was a pilot. So he was stationed all over. But yeah, for us, it's like the first generation that does that.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. So do you have any plans of visiting something where you said, this is something I want to hit?
Right now, I don't really have plans anymore. Like, I just kind of go with the flow. I didn't know I was going to be here, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you were going to come in December, and then you were like, last week, like, hey, are you still in Austria? I'm coming.
Yeah, we had some bad shit happen, so I
Yeah.
stayed at home with the family, but...
And then
it's all good.
you just drove here now with your girlfriend in your car.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a 6-hour drive. We stopped by at Graz. We checked out the city.
Nice.
Also came here.
There's nothing to check out.
There's nothing. Like, we took a walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
we walked out some mountains.
Nobody goes to Graz.
But it was in the way, so might as well.
Yeah, might as well. Well, I mean, what is there historically in Graz? Nothing. Wasn't there like a famous person from there?
I have no idea.
Nobody,
actually.
I think. Schwarzenegger close by, like 1.5 hours
Yeah?
from Graz. Yeah, he had this little village there.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Okay, that's interesting. So, I mean, here's what I always wonder for online entrepreneurs: when you do travel, how productive are you? Do you get distracted, or do you manage to just have the same routine?
It's a mix. Like, right now, doing shit by day and by night. Like, there's nothing really to do at night, so I'm just writing. And I find I'm more productive in that 4 hours that I'm otherwise in the 6 or 8 hours.
That's interesting.
But yeah, like when I was in Vegas, I didn't work that much because like the jet lag really kills you for like a week.
Yeah.
And by the time I adjust, I actually came back. So it's really a mix. But I actually like to stay at home for like extended periods of time and just work. And then mix it up with a bit of travel when I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like I'll burn out or something. I just go travel.
You mentioned earlier, really interesting, it says like in the evening you do the writing. I often talk about this concept of like know thyself, meaning like know when you're the most creative, know when you're most productive, know what type of task fits best what time of the day.
Yeah.
How is it for you?
I'm a night owl.
Totally.
So
all right.
Typically, I do creative work at night.
Yeah.
And like all the day-to-day stuff in the morning.
Like what? Walk me through it.
Okay, so
Regular
I typically wake up around 7. I would have some coffee. I would have a breakfast, and I do the regular business stuff, like stuff I just have to do, and also like administrative in the first couple hours.
Yeah.
And some people say that's like the most productive. I didn't find that. If I wake up like super early, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., sometimes I do that. Then I got like 2 productive hours. But if I wake up normal time, it's my productive hours around like past 8.
Okay.
And then I'm just grinding it out as long as it takes, basically. Sometimes I'm writing until like 2 a.m. and I don't even realize time is flying by. But sometimes it's just caps out at like midnight or something.
Do you have like a maximum where you say like this is how long I can write and then I start dipping?
Not really. I mean, I noticed that, but it's not like set in stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long can you roughly write before you start getting a little woozy or unfocused?
I mean, short breaks, I would take like a 10-minute short break here and there, but it's around 2 hours.
Wow.
It's a short break, another 2 hours.
So basically 4 hours in one day, or can you knock out?
That's like my deep work limit. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know this concept of deep work. There was a book, real good book.
Yeah, I haven't.
productivity.
Maybe I have read it, but if I read it, it was a long time ago. It's similar to me, like 4 hours stretching it.
Yeah.
With deep work, I can do then other work.
Yeah,
I can
the
do
mist
calls.
stuff,
Yeah, I can rock that. Funny enough, for me, it's like the more tired I am, the better I am at calls with clients, because I'm just rambling and I'm like my brain, because I'm so tired. Because when you're writing, you want to be really efficient with words, right? Economy of words. Like you want to make sure that your ideas are streamlined and as logical as you can. So that for me takes up most energy. Because I'm a rambler. I love just sit me down 3 hours. I don't care. And I just blurp it out. But then the writing process, I'm like, well, okay, but this doesn't make sense. And this needs to be connected more. But then when I do calls and, clients ask me questions, I can give them these long-winded, ranty answers. I could just go on a tangent. And they love it, right? Because it's just like, I really like try to get into their head and like dissect the different parts from all different areas, all different angles. So I can do that in the evening. But for me, it's the other way than to use. Like in the morning, I can do writing. Usually, like before breakfast, I get up at 5:36 nowadays, and I just go straight into tweets, YouTube scripts, any sort of creative writing, and then I have breakfast, and I can knock out 2-3 more hours, and then around noon I dip, and in the evening, sometimes I feel inspiration, which is kind of dangerous because I want to go to bed, but then my brain has ideas. But it's more like a free flow idea stuff and less like a focused, I'm going to write something step by step. But yeah, that's where I then just have my calls and then I'll pass out. How much do you sleep usually on average per night?
8 hours. I need the 8 hours.
Yeah. Same.
Can't get by on anything less.
No, hell no. I have people that are like 5 hours is fine. I would die. I would literally live a living hell if I could not sleep 8 hours. And I notice it. Like even if it's 7.5, I'm like, just getting there. Not so good. 6 hours, you forget about it. I used to cut for years in my 20s, my early 20s. I used to wear it as like a badge of honor. Oh, I only slept 5 hours. The rest I worked. It really messed me up. I think it's really bad. I don't think you should do it. But yeah, it's crazy. Do you have any rituals that get you in the zone?
Not really. Other than having a coffee. Like I like to have a coffee before I start writing. Just the smell and everything just gets my brain going.
It gets you going?
Sometimes it's even caffeine free if it's like late at night. I don't want to have like a proper coffee, but even the smell and everything, like the taste is just kickstarts my brain.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So that's as far as like rituals go.
So you say you drink coffee in the evening?
Sometimes I do, yeah.
You can still go to sleep?
I try to not drink past like 5 p.m. Because then I just can't sleep.
Yeah, same. For me, it's even more extreme. If I drink coffee at noon, if I drink it afternoon, I'm done at night. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive to that. Yeah, that's cool. Have you ever been to, or do you want to go to Asia? Any places there?
Oh, yeah. I definitely want to. Probably Bali.
The classic.
Yeah, the classic Bali.
Yeah.
Thailand. But I also want to check out Singapore. I heard really good things about Singapore.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking jet lag. I really have to like schedule it in and probably spend like a month there at least. Yeah. Because 1 week is just not enough for anything.
Yeah, nah, forget. I mean, when we went to Japan, it was also a month for exactly that reason. Like, you want to get used to it. You want to be productive.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be walking around in the haze. What does your wife do for a living?
She's a psychologist.
Oh, no shit.
Has her own practice.
Damn, so that actually helps.
I'm marketing it, so it's going well. Yeah, she's pretty busy. Well, it is really simple, like local ads, so not.
I mean,
not
that's
too
like you're totally overqualified for that.
I'm overqualified for that role.
You're like destroying all the competitors in the town.
We are the number one when someone searches for a psychologist.
Of course. Imagine you're a competitor and you're like, I got a decent copywriter, and then boom, you're up against David. Yeah. Who's been doing this for years internationally, spending 6 figures on mentor.
But I can't convince her to do like a Facebook brand and write her own book. And I'm like, not there yet.
Oh, yes, you are. That's
let me write it.
I'll write your damn book, man. Let's go.
But we're not gonna do that.
Not yet. You got her there. It's the same for Robin. His fiance is what does she do? Dental stuff, and he's also like, yeah, we're just marketing that. I'm like, you're so fucked if you're a competitor there. It's so unfair, man. Yeah. But hey, I'm happy for you guys. So you're crushing. That's good to hear. Do you sometimes talk to her about copywriting? Because it's kind of psychology, you know.
Yeah, I do. I do actually.
Do you sometimes? And this is something that I'm asking specifically as well, because a lot of digital entrepreneurs, they have that line of thought. Do you sometimes freak out a little bit and you're like, things are going crazy and the politics, I've got to get out of here. Good that I'm working online.
The thing is, I had this survival offer. And you know the kind of stuff you have to read to write for survival offers.
Oh, it's
doing
like
the research.
Building a bunker and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Survival? Okay.
Yeah, so that time I was really freaking out about stuff because I'm an empathetic dude, and like that's what I use in copywriting. I get in character basically.
Yeah,
and it just fucking killed me, man. I'm not writing for survival anymore.
So walk me through it. So that was an offer to, like, when the grid goes down. This is how you survive. Jesus Christ. Was it an info product or a book or what?
It's an info product, and then on the back end they're selling like these survival kits and stuff like that. Like you have to prepare for everything.
Damn.
You know?
Okay, give me some paranoia. What do they say?
Well, it was like around the time before Trump became president, and they. Basically, when Trump is president or when there's like a Republican, they're kind of chill. You have to look for an enemy on the outside, like China and Russia and all that.
All right.
But when it's Democrat, they're pretty much waiting for the end of the world all the time.
That is so interesting. And then, I bet around COVID, that stuff blew up.
Probably, yeah. Like, I wasn't involved at that time because I already switched over. Mm-hmm. But yeah, COVID was probably great for them.
Even I got a little paranoid because I remember when this stuff hit, I was in Kiev with the team, you know, and Kiev is super chill. They're like, yeah, no problem, you know. It's like, well, yeah, maybe we have officially they had lockdown, but everything was open. But then all these riots started happening, the George Floyd riots in the States, and it was like, oh, now the grid is breaking down, and there's like food shortages and stuff, and I'm like, damn. And my girlfriend works in the health sector in Finland, and she's like, oh, like we're getting more patients. You know, she's super chill. She's like beautifully naive chill, and I'm like, the grid is breaking down, and then they stopped canceling all the flights. And I'm like, I don't know how long this is gonna take. So I took one of the last flights to Finland to be there with my girlfriend, and I was also already like getting ready, some stuff's gonna happen, you know, but of course, thank God nothing really did happen, nothing too crazy in terms of that. But that left a lot of people that were like psychologically already on the edge. They were like a little paranoid, you know, a little bit like, oh, let's see what happens. They just lost. I had a friend of mine, shout out, and he's a very successful business owner too. He's like calling me. He's like, I bought a gun, and he didn't buy like a gun. He bought like shotguns, like semi-automatics, and then he's like, yeah. And then he bought a Jeep. What is it called? A Jeep Defender, like the big Jeep thingy with like metal doors, and he had a winch. What is it called? You know, like the thingy on the Jeep that you like this like steel.
Put on a turret? Or
no turret. What are the things called on the Primož on the wench? Wrenches, not wenches, I think. You know, and that you have in front of the Jeep that is like a hook. It's like a steel cable on a hook. Yeah. Wrench. Sorry, wench is an old pirate term for ladies, I think. Wrench. He had one with a wrench for whatever reason. It's in case I need it, you know. He lost it for a while. Yeah, he lost it for a while. And he's like, yeah, when they're gonna come, I'm ready. You know, like ready for what? And he lives in Austria. You know, it's not even like. So
you guys are not even in NATO, I think.
Damn right. Out That's true. We are not. We are neutral. We had the neutrality thingy after World War II. It's like, we're going to be neutral forever. Yeah. Us and Switzerland. We're going to... But I would still feel much safer in Switzerland. They got all the mountains.
Yeah.
What about Hungary? You guys in NATO?
We are, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, of
Good.
course.
All right. So you're like the first line of defense.
We are.
Yeah.
That's
That's kind of
I-
bad one.
I made this rule after I moved out of Kiev. I'm like, I want to have at least always one country buffer in between. You know, that's
Yeah.
why I didn't want to move to Poland, because a lot of people are like, hey, Warsaw is great. It's super modern.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
right
no,
on the
no,
border.
it's too close. Yeah. One country in between is the rule. So yeah, that's really freaking interesting. A friend of mine, he lives in Russia now, and he's
What is it like now?
huh?
What's that like now?
I don't know. So that was the crazy part. So he used to be my assistant in the dating times, and back then we used to just have volunteers as assistants. So he traveled the world with me on one tour, or one leg of the tour between Europe and the States, and we hung out for like basically 4 or 5 months all the time. You know, we'd stay in the same hotel room, same Airbnbs, and all that jazz. And then I moved to Helsinki first, and Kiev and stuff like that. And he actually worked. Before he worked with me, he worked for SpaceX, for Elon, way before he blew up, way before he was super famous. So that was 2014, 13,
Nice.
14-ish. He actually met Elon on the Christmas party for SpaceX.
Nice.
And the way he said it, he himself, Michael, my friend, he was drunk at the Christmas party, you know, and he was hitting on Elon's wife.
Oh man.
Back then wife, and then Elon Musk is like, hey, what's up? And then they talk about like aliens and satellites, and they were both tipsy, and him and Elon were hitting it off. And then literally earlier today I hit him up, and I'm like, man, it's a long time no speak. What are you doing? He said, oh, I'm in Russia, I'm married and I have a kid,
Wow.
and I live in Russia now, and I'm a comedian. What? What a life story, you know?
Yeah.
So shout out to Mike. And I don't know. I don't even know how, as a U.S. American, he gets to live there. Maybe because he married, he's allowed to stay or something like that. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You ever been to Russia?
No,
Okay.
but I actually regret it. Like, I would love to check out Moscow,
Yeah, me too.
but not now.
Nope. I mean, I got a lot of Ukrainian stamps in my passport, so
man.
if anything, I'd have to kind of redo that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So you went from being a, what did you say? What was it? A tax consultant? No, what was it?
Oh
Accountant?
no, I was studying to be an accountant.
So you went from accounting to copywriting.
I googled how to make money online.
Oh yeah. I was gonna ask how did that's how you did it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
All right, walk me through the story.
I just googled how to make money online. I came up with freelancing. I looked at Upwork back in the day, and I was just looking at all these different skills. Like programming, I'm probably too dumb. Then there's this VA stuff, doesn't seem to pay a lot. Then I found copywriting, and I didn't know what that was.
That was what year?
It was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, I always wanted to be a writer, to be honest. But like writers don't make a lot of money, especially in Hungary. Like it's not a lifestyle I want. So when I found copywriting, I just realized it was writing, and it must be good for me. And I started studying. Like first it was books and forums. And I started to get a couple of clients off of Upwork. Most of them sucked because I had no clue. Like I had a good 2 years when I was just doing whatever they paid me for. And then eventually I stumbled upon this whole online marketing world, like the legit people. I got some mentoring. I got decent clients. I got lucky with some of the clients who gave me a chance, and I'm still grateful for them. And it kind of just snowballed from there. Like, it's better than anything that pretty much I had going for me at the time, so I just stuck to it. And it's worked out really well.
As you can see, you're crushing it.
Yeah.
You said one really interesting thing. So you said you got a bunch of clients that sucked, and then you kind of got lucky.
Yeah.
I think that is one stage that a lot of digital consultants, service providers get stuck in. Because, you know, in the beginning, you're going to say yes to everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
you need the money. You want to get a foothold, right? On one hand. And I think on the other hand, you can't distinguish yet from the beginning whether or not someone's a good client. Because everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, it's going to be great. But then, you know, you start working, they don't do anything.
I used to think it's good to work for agencies because they give you a lot of work, but it's actually sucks. Like, you get the bottom of the barrel clients.
Oh.
You don't get paid because the agency needs to make profits.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how did you, for someone listening to this now, they're any service provider. It doesn't need to be copywriting. It could be anything, or a digital consultant. And they're like, man, I can totally resonate with that. I only work with bad clients. They don't execute. They're a pain in the ass. They don't pay much. How do you suggest they transition to bigger, better clients?
Honestly, it's a hard question. Like, I don't fucking know, man.
Okay.
But starting over, I would probably do anything to just get to work for one of the big brands that I know I like, that resonates with me in some level, and I would just do anything they need to fucking be useful. Like, maybe I would create like product. I would create copy that I see their need, or basically go deep with a couple of people that you know are killing it. Because then once they kind of notice you, it's much easier once you got a decent client and a decent case study, even if the pay is not that great.
So is that how you did it? Is that how you, quote unquote, got lucky?
Well, yeah, after a while, yeah. I had no idea, so like what I was doing, so I just really just stumbled upon it. But I was working for all these different clients on Upwork. The pay was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But then I found one client who actually, the pay was still bad, but the experience was worth it.
How come?
Because they actually started sending out my stuff. A lot of early people, they just don't send out, or they don't give you the data.
So you write for them and then they never use it?
Yeah, or they just don't use it. Like, they probably have like 10 other people writing for them, and they just pick and choose. But like, once I got a client who actually made money by himself and then started using my stuff, they also made money. They made more money. So,
and then you got the foot in the door. And
yeah, I got the foot in the door. I hang out with their community. I meet a lot of people, also copywriters, media buyers. I used to have a lot of friends in the same circles, and we were referring each other all the time, so that also helped. And just really just staying in all these groups, being social.
Yeah.
It helps.
I mean, that's how B2B often works. It's different from B2C. B2C, I feel like, is a lot of just volume. Yeah. Just hit up a lot of people with your fitness offer or whatever, get them on a call, close them, slowly build a client base like that. With B2B, it's much more like try to get your foot in the door with the one client that does it well, that it uses your stuff. We pray to God that you're good, that they get epic
You have
results.
to get good, because it's a small circle in the B2B world. Like, everyone knows everyone is what most people don't realize.
Exactly. And I noticed that with Robin a lot, because I come from the B2C world. I'm like, let's launch something, let's test it, let's make it better over time. And Robin is like, we're gonna, like, unless it's perfect from the get-go,
it's under his name.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my reputation on that. And it makes sense, because in B2B, that's all you have. Right, it's like you said, it's a small circle. Everyone knows everyone.
Everyone goes to the same masterminds.
Yeah. It's always the same dudes. It's like 200 dudes, or so, you know what I mean? Like, it's maybe not 200, but it's like whatever, 5,000 people really that are really serious about it. You always meet them on the same masterminds, and that's kind of the coolest thing. That's what I love about this podcast. It's always like, oh, like so and so was on your podcast, and I know him over that guy, and he was my client, and he's yours, and it's like so fucking cool. I really like this. It's like I've always liked this tribe, because I've had the dating advice tribe, which was really cool, because it was all action takers. It was guys that would like read, meditate, go to the gym, really work on themselves, and was like the perfect environment for me in my 20s.
Yeah.
And then I did that, and I crushed it, with RSD, and we made all these millions. And then I was tribe-less when I left, because I wanted to pivot into the business consulting. Yeah. And I was like, and then I really realized, you only realize what you had when it's gone. Oh, yeah. Because I'm like, I'm tribeless now. I'm just this dude, just living in Kiev with my team. I mean, I have my team as a tribe with 25 full-time employees. And then now I've gotten into this online entrepreneur community all of a sudden. And it's funny, because like a lot of these guys that I look up to that are huge, where I'm like, oh, geez, I want to learn from that. And then I do, get into their masterminds, or I have them on the podcast. And then they're like, I used to watch your dating stuff. It's always, and I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, dude, I used to be a fan. I'm like, I'm a fan of you, man. It's so cool.
And a lot of dating guys actually end up in entrepreneurship. Yep. And they do the best. Yep. Because like walking up to random people and getting rejected all the time kind of trains you for this whole thing. Like,
it's like the best training for everything. Yeah. For charisma, for copywriting, for marketing. I always used to say, like, look, when you go on a date with a beautiful girl, and I always think about my girlfriend, because I met my girlfriend on Tinder, and I literally thought it was a catfish profile because it just looked too good. I'm like, no way, this is 100% catfish. And I'll never forget that we exchanged WhatsApp, and then I'm like, send me a selfie because I want to make sure. And she sends me a selfie of 2 girls, and one. Because she was like, oh, we're having a movie night or something, me and my best friend, and one of the girls took the empty bowl out of which they would eat the popcorn and held it over her face, and then the other girl was the girl from Tinder. It's beautiful, perfect, and I'm like, I really hope it's not the girl that's covering her face, So I met her in person. I'm like, this is gonna be my girlfriend. So what I'm saying is, when you're on a date with a girl like that, you really want to show yourself from the best possible side, and you want to be funny, you want to be charismatic, and you want to convert, so to speak. You want to convert the date into another date, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And then when you extrapolate that on the business, it's exactly the same, but with thousands of people at the same time. It's like you're on a date with thousands of people at the same time. So it extrapolates the same skill set. It's the charisma, empathy. You mentioned earlier, you're super empathetic, and that's what makes you such a good copywriter. Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of the dating guys are crushing it. However, and this is kind of like one key lesson that you have to have if you're a dating coach and you want to crush in other businesses. When you're a dating coach, at least a male dating coach teaching men how to get good with women, a lot of what you do needs to be based on, oh, I'm so cool, I'm the best, I'm the shit. Because you need to carry that confidence into social interactions. But then with business, this can easily translate into entitlement. Of like, I'm not going to create ads. I'm not going to ask for clients. I'm not going to, chase after clients because I'm so cool. I'm the greatest. People should come to me. And I've seen this with a lot of dating coaches that manifested itself as a huge success barrier. Where I would say, listen, like I had dating coaches myself in the business consulting offers, and we've helped multiple dating coaches to multiple 6 figures a month. But at some point, whether it's 100K a month or whether that's already a 10K a month, they all say the same. They're all like, I'm not one who chases or a version of that. And they're like, well, I don't see I just had it recently where one of the more beginner dating coaches, I'm like, your problem is you're not converting on sales calls. And he's like, yeah, well, let me do it like this. I want to make a free program. I want to coach 4 guys for free for 1 month, and then I'll sell them. And I'm like, what? That's not, you can't scale that. Coaching 4 guys, and even if you have a 50% close rate, you got 2 closes after a month coaching them for free, if they still want to buy. And I dissected, I'm like, why are you doing that? And he always kind of walked around in eggshells, didn't want to tell me the real reason. Then after like 20 minutes of breaking it down, I finally understood. He says like, well, I don't want to chase people on a call. So if I'm on a call and I sell them, I feel so dirty because I need to sell. And my whole dating philosophy is like, find a win-win for everyone. Like if the girl likes you, she will be into you. So he extrapolated that on the business, and it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Like you need to be able to be humble. You need to be able to say, well, let's create killer ads and get people on a call and handle objections. And if you cannot learn to do that as a dating coach specifically, you're never going to make it. Yeah. And this is a lesson that Owen Cook, shout out my first mentor in the dating sphere, and now he's doing a lot of business stuff too. He used to tell me that. He's like, I know so many great dating coaches out there, and they never made as much money because of exactly that. And I didn't believe it because I, fortunately enough, naturally never had that click in my brain. I never cared. I was always the dork who got rejected all the time. I would always chase girls that are way out of my league, and I never had a problem with that.
It's fine.
Yeah. Like maybe I never got to the level of game where I'm like, the girl's chasing me. Like I have the time where a girl opened me was like maybe 3 times in my whole life. Where I'm like standing somewhere and the girl's like, hey, what's up? Yeah. And I was confused. I would be like, what do you need? Like, and she's like, just wanted to say hi. And I'm like, is there a camera somewhere? Is this fake?
Is this a prank?
Yeah. Like, is this a damn prank? Like I was always the guy, because I'm short, I'm dorky, I was always the guy who had to freaking walk around and approach people. So fortunately enough, when I extrapolated that on the business, it never mattered. So yeah. But you smiled when I mentioned Owen Cook.
Oh yeah, I know him. Like I not know him. I was watching his videos.
Oh no shit.
He's also doing something in business now. I think like pretty. I wouldn't say he's a direct response copywriter or marketer, but he kind of is.
Yeah, he
just figured out this niche.
He's incredible
ahead of time. Like,
yeah, if you watch his
ocean.
videos now, they're insane. Like I said this on one of the last episodes too. I just stumbled on it. I was like, hey, what's Owen doing? I watched his videos and I'm like, yeah, they're probably not as relevant anymore. Holy shit, they're at such a high level right now. And it's all like, he breaks all the YouTube rules, right? There's no fancy editing, you know?
Oh.
It's literally like, here's a 2-hour live stream recording and it's insane. And you're just watching for 2 hours. It's so insane. So if you liked his stuff in the past, his new stuff is 1,000 times better even than that. Crazy guy, yeah. Anywho, so is that the way that you found about Owen, because you checked out the dating stuff back in the days?
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
You see,
man.
everyone
does. Like,
it's so crazy.
I was an awkward kid. I needed some advice, man.
Oh yeah, you too.
Yeah.
We all.
I was
had.
playing video games and stuff. So.
What did you play?
Mostly League of Legends.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wait, that's
Counter-Strike and stuff like
Counter-Strike, my
that.
man.
Yeah.
Which one? 1.6?
1.6.
Yeah, I used
The
to
original.
play 1.5, dude.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
Dude, 1.5 way better than 1.6. 1.6 is where they made it easier. 1.5 was even harder to aim and stuff like that.
oh wow.
Yeah, that's so funny. But League of Legends I never got into. It was too late for me. I was already into the dating stuff, and I cut it out completely.
Yeah. I was still in high school. Like, my friends got me into it. So.
Yeah. Nice, man. Do you still play anything now?
Not really. Like, sometimes I check out the new game that I find interesting, but I just get bored so fast. Like,
I know.
2 hours in, I'm like, okay, this is the same repetitive
What
shit.
is it? Yeah. Is it that all? Do you think that games are nowadays just worse, or is it that maybe you haven't gotten into it anymore? Or what do you think?
I think they're not as challenging anymore. That's one
That
thing.
could be.
And I just also got older. Like, I don't know. It's more exciting to focus on the business stuff now.
Yeah, the real game.
Better achievements.
It really
better
is.
rewards. So.
Have you had that epiphany? I'd be curious. Where, you're doing the business stuff, and then you realize this is just like a video game, but it's real.
Yeah. It's the same grind.
Yeah, it's totally. Instead of gathering like fake currency, like in a strategy game, you're like, this is real currency. I could buy some cool shit with that.
Yeah.
That was a game changer for me. Like, I remember I would wake up in the morning with my dating advice business, and I had like all the tabs open of all the stats that I would check every day. So I had my I can't remember if it was Stripe or whatever, like my merchant thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I made this much money overnight. I've got this many subscribers on YouTube, this many followers on Facebook and whatever. And I would just check these stats. And then I'm like, this is just like all the strategy games I used to play, where you constantly check the stats. But then you could do real stuff with it. I could take this real money and go traveling and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's pretty awesome, man. So have you ever played anything recently where you say, this is still a good game?
Not really.
Damn.
Like,
Dang, you should try.
have you?
Yeah, I have.
What?
Subnautica.
Subnautica.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, that's like the survival
Yeah.
thing under the water.
You land on a water planet, and there's not like it doesn't teach you anything. You're just like, I'm there now. What do I do? Do I jump in the water? And then you jump in the water, and then he's like, oh, it's copper. Okay. Oh, there's iron, and then you pick it up. Oh, my inventory is full, and then you're like, oh, if I combine the copper with the iron, I could make a breathing tank, so I can stay longer underwater. Okay, let's do that. And it's just like that. And
so
then
it doesn't hold your hand. It's all exploration.
Yeah,
that's good.
So sick. And then you like, let me just swim super far in this direction. And then there's like huge monsters, and you're like, what the fuck? And then at the end, you get like a submarine that you build. That you gotta gather all the resources and all the tech tree, and then you have the submarine, and it's like a mobile base. Dude, I played hours of that this year. Yeah, the whole for January and February, I just sunk into that the whole weekend. I would grind Monday through Friday every day, like literally wake up, grind, go to bed, and then Saturday comes, and I'm like, Subnautica, 6 hours in a row, eat, and then another.
Can't do that, man. Don't you find that it kind of adjusts your like reward system? And like on a Monday, business is not as exciting anymore.
Yeah, I was really worried about that, but somehow I could snap into it. It was like a different world. I'm like, this is it. There's no, and I didn't think about it all week. And then on Saturday, I'm like, what do I do? Let's play Subnautica, and then I'm back in. Very happy, but I know exactly what you mean. It can really ruin
I
you.
find myself Googling strategies for the game.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, what the fuck am I doing?
That's what I did. I would what I do is like I work all the time, but when I eat for my 2 meals, breakfast or dinner, I watch random stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can't watch content or learn when I'm eating because like I do this all the time anyways, and when I'm eating I just want to have my brain do. And then I would watch Subnautica content, like how to build a base, and like I would watch these strategies, and then I had a notepad where I would write down like, okay, come Saturday, this is what I'll do first. I'll go to these coordinates, I'll find the thing. It's so funny. I would have like a checklist already of what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So I can recommend that.
Nice.
I finished it, and then I play Subnautica Below Zero, like the next one. And then I'm going to finish that, and I hope then Subnautica 3 or whatever it's going to be called comes out on time, so if I can just really hit that. That and Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. Oh, that's like the Delivery Man. My friend played that.
Yes. The walking simulator.
That exactly. I didn't like that. Like,
Have you played it?
no, I just don't get
Play
it,
it.
man.
It's good.
I watched my friend play and he was just walking. You can do that here. Nice mountains.
Yo, okay, so first of all, let me go deep, okay? First of all, it's a Hideo Kojima game. You know Hideo Kojima?
I know he's like this big name to a lot of people.
Love that guy. He made Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, yeah, I know those games.
Best games. Like, they changed my life. Like, Metal Gear Solid, like, I've watched my brother play Metal Gear Solid 1 when I was too young. I played Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, 4. 5 I didn't play anymore because he's not involved in him. He wasn't involved as much. Anyways, and I got so addicted. I played it during COVID. Full on. I was at my girlfriend's place. She would work. She would go to work. I would wake up, work, and then just play all day. And then funny enough, it's like it plays like in a post-apocalyptic world. And then my girlfriend was like, hey, let's travel. Like, I'm bored. We've been at home all the time. Let's travel. And then Iceland is open. For whatever reason, remember when Iceland was the only place you could travel to in the pandemic?
Oh, yeah, they did that.
Like Iceland and Sweden, you know?
Sweden, opened up everything.
Yeah. And we were in Finland. We're not going to go to Sweden. It's the same. So let's go to Iceland. And I was like, zero expectations. What for Iceland? Whatever. And my girlfriend's always like that. She researches, she watches documentaries, and then knows all the places. And I know zero. I like find it on the map when I'm there. I'm like, that's where we are. Like I was like, oh, Iceland is there. I didn't know, you know. Granted, I knew where Iceland was, but you know, I had it with other countries. I had it with like, I remember I was on world tour, and we were in Copenhagen, and I'm like, wait a minute, Danish? Oh, Copenhagen is not the capital of the Netherlands? I was there, and I look at it on the map. I'm like, oh, it is in Denmark. that's yeah. And anyways, we went to Iceland, and then so they based the fauna of Death Stranding on Iceland.
It's winter, right? Like snow and
not it's just like this like moss covered mountains, and then I'm like, holy shit, this looks just like Death Stranding. And then I learned it's based on that what is it called, topography, based on that. It was really, really cool. So I recommend you go to Iceland.
Yeah,
great place, dude. Absolutely insane if you go there. It's like a different world. Everything looks like a different planet. And the food is great too.
Nice.
Yeah, I recommend it, man. Go there with your wife and then rent a Jeep and just drive around the island.
That's
nice. If you like that kind of stuff, you'll love that. And you just, you can drive from one end to the other in like 5 or 6 hours or something like that. You go straight through the island. There's all these crazy waterfalls. Then we went whale watching. We went to some like little whale town and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah,
it's really sick. Is there any project where you like, that would be my dream project as a copywriter? Like if X company would need a copywriter, I'd be the first guy to go there and try to write for them.
Not for like clients specifically. I got this recurring kind of dream that I want to bring this whole internet marketing thing and create a brand that helps people from my country get started. But I just never do it. Because I realize it's a small market, and there's a lot of mindset issues that I would have to overcome, and it's just fucking easier to work for clients than
you mean
what I do.
Mindset issues of your potential clients or of yourself?
No, my potential clients. Like I know working class Eastern European, like I had a bunch of shit to overcome before I could start
Like
in
what?
this business. Like I would never imagine that I would make good money. I remember there was this guy writing for free. It was like this Fastlane forum. It was this
MJ DeMarco.
Yeah, that guy. He
Love
had
that
this
guy.
forum, and this other guy wrote like an entire topic on how to make 10K a month as a copywriter. And it was fucking awesome. Like, even looking back now, he shared some good stuff. But when the first time I read it, I just didn't believe it. And I kind of tried it. And I remember I even wrote the guy like, hey, this shit doesn't work. Like, I was an asshole.
Damn. All right.
And like 10 years back, like 10 years later, I actually made my fucking money copywriting.
Well,
I'm doing way more than that. And just, I actually, like, a couple of years ago, I revisited my tax and I checked out he was still active, so we had a little discussion. I paid him some money and like,
oh, you gave him some money?
I wanted to make good on that.
So cool. I mean, do you want to say who it was? Shout out.
I don't remember, man. I'm so bad at that.
All right.
But I'll bring that up.
So you went back into the forum and you sent him some money.
Yeah, I searched, like, I could still log into my old user because I never changed my passwords, but that's
Of course, very classic.
That's something I should be telling you. But yeah. So yeah, I just went back, looked at my messages, I found the guy.
I mean, how cool must that be? Imagine that. Imagine you write on some bumfuck forum and nobody executes. You know, you're like, this is the value. This is how you do it. Nobody does anything. Some guy even writes to get it wrong.
Hate mail for
and then some guy comes back. He's like, yo, by the way, I'm one of the best copywriters in the world now, thanks to the shit you wrote.
Yeah.
I mean, how was his reaction?
He was fucking happy. Man.
Yeah, I imagine.
But I think this happens more often than you would think, because he was handling it kind of naturally.
I don't know. He probably was all like, oh yeah, sure, it's all cool. And then he probably told his wife about it. He couldn't believe it. All right, so one mindset issue was you didn't think it was real, or you didn't think it was possible.
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible, and then you don't know this entire world exists. Like, you never hear about these small businesses online. Like, we're still small businesses doing a couple millions a year.
Yeah. That's the funniest part, too.
When you study for marketing, you kind of think about these big brands and all that shit. That doesn't really lead anywhere, because it's like you're just a working bee at a big company and you never kind of make it. So it's just a whole different world.
I mean, because you mentioned specifically Eastern European.
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason why, as an Eastern European, you didn't think it was possible?
Well, it's like how you socialize around money. Like, we had like $500 a month as a family, working class Hungary, like 20 years ago. You're not used to people making a bunch of money. Like, even right now, I would say like $3,000 a month is pretty much in the top 10% of income.
Yeah.
And that's like CEOs, that's fucking managers up high, or in IT. Now IT is picking up and bringing all the other stuff with it, but it still takes time.
Do you think there is some sort of... When I look at, for example, Germany, German-speaking market has similar mindset issues, but it's less what you said of like, it's not possible. It's more like a hater culture. Everybody is like...
They're skeptical.
That too. Skeptical too. But it's like the moment you make money, everybody hates you. It's more like, oh, you think you're better because you're making money. And you're like,
that's kind of different, yeah.
Yeah. So you say in Eastern Europe, it's more like, oh, it's not possible.
It's more like you're either full of shit, you're doing something illegal, but it's not like that much hating.
Damn, you see, that's interesting. In Austria, Germany, it's like full on. It's like you're my friend if you suck as much as I do.
Oh,
the moment you're better, you're an asshole, and you're like, I didn't do anything. Like, no, you're an asshole. It's very, very strange. And that's kind of like one of the big advantages of the U.S. market. In the U.S. market, it's like fucking awesome, man. Make some money, dog. Like that. So they don't have that mindset issue to overcome. It's like. Plus, I kind of feel like it's much more accepted in the U.S. to say, like, I want to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Timmy, what do you want to do when you're I want to make a ton of money. They're like, that's right, Timmy. Living the American dream. And I remember, like, when I was beginning my 20s and I just started with the dating coaching thingy, and I was at the dinner table with my parents and my family, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the dating thingy. I want to make $1 million by the time I'm 30. And they laughed.
Mm-hmm.
Not because they're like, fuck you piece of shit. No, they were like laughing because they thought I was joking.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, that's right, yeah. And I'm like, no, I actually want to do that. And then I made my first million at age 26.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very similar there as well. Like when I would tell my mom, like my goal is to make money and like build a business. And I know if I help enough people, I will make good money. She would literally just be like, yeah, but it's not about money. Money doesn't buy happiness. Don't you know? And I'm like, I get it. I know money doesn't buy happiness, but I still want to make it. Yeah. Like, it's still good for you. So that was kind of like our culture. Mm-hmm. I always feel like my mom was too nice of she's still alive, thank God. But she's way too good of a person because she would always teach me like, you don't need a lot of money. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be good. Like everybody loves you anyways. And I'm like, cool, everybody loves me. So I never stepped up, you know. And then I find myself in my early 20s, shy, haven't had a lot of experience with women, and was just a loser. Mm-hmm. And I expected the world to give me the love that my mom always said.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, but that's not the world. That's just my mom.
You know? Doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, like, damn, if I want to make it in the world. Because she would always be like, oh, girls, they will see what a handsome young man you are, you know? And I'm like, had long, greasy hair, metal shirt on, you know? And I'm like, well, my mom said it's about the inner values. And then I realized, no, man, it's not, okay? Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately. What do your parents think of you now? Because you made it out there, you know, you're crushing it. You're in the international market.
They're actually proud.
Beautiful.
Like, one of the first thing I did, I brought a little flat that we were renting out, and it's all there. So
that's so nice.
I'm supporting them.
How did you how did you give it to them? Was it a surprise?
It was like a Christmas thing, yeah.
a Christmas thing. You gave him an apartment for Christmas.
But they didn't want to take it at first. It was actually hard to convince them to just take it because it's like, oh no, it's too much, and it's like, okay, but you kind of deserve it. Like, come on.
That is so cool. Okay, walk me through it.
Yeah.
You drive up to the apartment with them.
No. I just announced it first. Like, they wouldn't believe it. I showed them the papers. Like, it's real. It's there. We just got to rent it out.
That is so sick.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to your parents.
Yeah, they're great people. And they really helped me with, like, I never had, like, big confidence issues in myself because they always supported me.
So for my mom, it was like, you're great no matter what. I think she wanted to give me confidence, but she gave it to me in like a slightly wrong way. How did your parents give you the confidence that helped you crush it now?
They just got me. They just kind of let me do my thing. And then when I got stuck or I needed some support, like this is more like school stuff because it's earlier.
Yeah.
But I could always learn with them. I could always count on them to have my back. So they supported me like that.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
It's how I learned English. Like, I didn't learn English until, like, I don't know, 5th grade in primary school.
What age is that, 5th grade?
I have no idea. I'm bad at ages.
What is it, Russ?
It's like small kid, but, like, not...
Okay,
yeah.
The same for me.
Yeah.
I think. Around 10 or something like that, I learned speaking English.
Everyone was learning German. I couldn't learn it. Too many rules.
Yeah, fuck that. I wouldn't speak German unless it was my mother language.
Yeah, I know. You got it easy.
Yeah, it's funny because my German sucks. It got progressively worse.
Really?
Like, yeah, like when I talk to my parents, I'm like I cannot have a constant stream of thought because I constantly have the wrong words, the English words in my head, and they're like, what happened, man? You can't speak your own language.
You don't really speak German anymore, do you?
Very rarely. Where? Yeah. Like, all my employees are international. I have a few German-speaking fellows, but even there we speak English with each other. My girlfriend doesn't speak German; she's Finnish.
Yeah,
I don't speak any word of Finnish, so we speak English together. There's not a lot of people that speak German with. My grandmas, both grandmas, my dad, and my mom when I'm alone with them. But like a lot of time, I bring my girlfriend along, then we all kind of speak English. So, but it's the weirdest when I would do content. When I'm on a German-speaking podcast, like I have to speak German the whole day beforehand, so I'm able to articulate. Over, yeah. It's really, really strange, but yeah, like I think in English, I write in English, I write my diary in English, I dream in English. It's completely immersed in the language. Yeah, but yours is really good too. Like I remember, I'm like David is Hungarian? I also thought you were Dutch because Robin is Dutch.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, my buddy. And I'm like, yeah, you sound slightly like Dutch accent. That's the funny thing. Not at all like Hungarian.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on my accent as well. But I think video games also helped here because
Yeah.
I was hanging out with the Americans and the UK people. So
You played Counter-Strike on the
Yeah.
servers with them. Yeah. I mean, what do you... I've had clients that are from Romania, and they spoke very, very similarly about their country, like you spoke about yours, of this, like, the culture is weird, they don't believe it. Like, if you want to make a lot of money, you either do it illegally or you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, very, very similar. And I ask them, like, what does their country need to step up and kind of compete with the Western countries? And I want to ask you the same.
Wow. That's a hard question. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like innovation, like being more open to the world. Maybe figuring out that we don't know anything, like everything, and just
Humility.
yeah.
Being more humble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's so crazy because Austria and Hungary used to be one kingdom.
Oh, yeah, the
Like,
monarchy.
right? The Austrian-Hungarian thingy.
Yeah.
And then we were lucky because the Iron Curtain stopped on the east of ours.
Yeah.
So we were like still on full on in capitalism, and you guys right next to us descended into communism back then.
Oh yeah.
And then I think you still feel that.
Oh,
even
yeah.
though it's like 30 years ago, 34 years ago now.
Yeah.
You still very much feel that. It's so crazy.
It's also generational. Like
Mm.
my great grandfather was actually like an entrepreneur,
Damn.
but they took all his shit,
Oh, with the communism, they're like, this
Yeah.
is the States and this is
Yeah.
everyone's now.
sent him to the fucking mines.
Damn.
My grandfather was an uranium miner, so like we went back straight to working class.
Uranium miner?
Yes.
You had uranium in the...
in Page.
I mean, don't you die from that?
Most of his coworkers are dead already. He's still alive, thank God, but his lungs are fucked.
How old is he?
80.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so his father was the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And what company did he have?
He had like these food, what do you call it? On the
processing?
street, like, no,
Oh,
just on the
vendor.
street. Yeah, like a bunch of, like, he had like 5 or 6 food vendor
Okay.
spots in the city. And that was good money at the time.
Yeah.
But then the fucking the communists came and they took everything. So,
Damn.
yeah. And it's like, I still don't like to post about money. Like, I still don't like to put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look at my social media, you probably don't know where I live. So,
Yeah.
like, I still kind of like,
Because you're scared they will take it away?
I'm not scared. Like, it's not a rational thought.
But- yeah, but
that
it's
I have.
irrationally
But it's
still
kind
in
of like
there.
that I just don't want to, like, flash in a Lambo or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had similar thoughts because I've had bad experiences with stalkers and fans and crazy shit like
Oh.
that. But I'm at a... It's a two sides of the coins, you know?
Mhm.
Like, if I don't do it, I'll probably make less money, reach less people.
Yeah.
Right? If I do it, I always expose myself to the danger. And I mean, what I've done is, like, when I'm at a place at a restaurant, I don't post an Instagram story
Mhm.
until the next day.
Oh, yeah, I do the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Always the next day.
I literally
Like-
had it, like, I posted it, and then an hour later, like, yeah, I saw your story, man, you weird. You know, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I've had a guy once using Google Maps, and he, like, used the Google Street View. Like, I would, like, make a story out of my window, and then he would, like, Google Street View. Is like, oh, it's this building.
Oh, man.
And it's, like, roughly this floor.
Mhm.
And then one day,
shows up?
the doorbell rings. I'm like, oh, is some delivery maybe? I open and it's some guy, and he steps in right away. Oh my God, Max, I can't believe, like, doesn't, like, hey, I know this is weird, just steps in. And I was so flabbergasted that I just let it all happen. And then I'm like, how did you find this place? He's like, I Google Maps and then I Street View. And then I'm like, okay, but how did you know it's this door? And he's like, oh, I just spent the last 2 hours ringing every doorbell in the building.
God.
And it was like a 30 floor building. And then I finally found you. It was the craziest thing ever. Thing ever, yeah. And my friend, this is a funny thing. I told my best friend, he lived in the same building, and he just laughed at me, right? He's like, ah, ha, ha. And then like a week later, my friend calls me, and he's like, dude, the same guy came to my place because you tagged me. And he was so creeped out. I'm like, now you know, man.
Oh, man.
The guy wanted to ask him some questions. He's like, Kevin, I have a couple questions. You know, everything's a trade-off. Who had that saying? It's like, there's no solutions, there's only trade-offs.
Trade-offs, yeah.
Have you heard that too?
I've heard that, but I had no idea.
I just recently heard it. I'm like, I liked it. I can't remember, but yeah, that's how it is. You know, it's like just make sure it's a positive trade-off, man.
I mean, I'm in B2B, so I'm not dealing with weirdos. But being the dating coach, I can imagine that it's fucking insane out there.
Yeah, it gets worse. Apparently, it got way worse over the years because guys got more and more socially awkward. You know, I got out 2018. I mean, I don't want to talk down on anything.
Yeah.
In overall, the experience was much more positive than negative. Like, I owe everything to the people that used to subscribe to my stuff on the dating stuff that became my clients. And we did some really awesome stuff there. Like, so many guys got married, they have kids, they got families, or they just had cool lives or became entrepreneurs. And they're like, yeah, I built a 7-figure business because of the dating stuff you taught. So overall, it's very good. But apparently it got then just worse every year. A friend of mine, Jeffy, he was also on the podcast. He also used to work for, he's still in RSD. And he's like, it gets really difficult. Like, guys become way, way, way worse. Back in the days, we used to, you know, when we would teach in person, it was just a regular guy, you know. It's like, oh, yeah, my name is so-and-so. And then you would, you know, help him with some charismatic stuff. You know, you'd teach him how to be funnier. And that was it. And he said nowadays, like, a lot of these guys, they're so awkward. Like, they can't even speak. They can't even look into your eyes. They're just, like, not even normal. So he has to teach them how to be normal, but the expectations are still the same, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, I expect that I get numbers and I go home with someone, and like, dude, you can't even have a normal conversation yet. So that is, it's almost sad because it's more important than ever that these young guys get the guidance that I used to give and that I used to need myself. Even like you said yourself, where you were awkward. Yeah. It was very important more than ever, but then at the same time, it's more frowned upon than ever, just like dating coaching stuff. So I don't envy any of the young 20-year-olds right now trying to figure this out.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, competition is probably way less, so you can stand out.
Also a good point, yeah.
You can stand out pretty easily.
Also good
once
point,
you find the good people, but yeah.
Yeah. Very, very, very good point. I mean, you know, for me, it changed my life because it teaches you as a young guy at first, everything is impossible. And this is kind of something that I really want to put empathy out. If you're a young girl, you're 20 or 21, no problem. Like, either you're very attractive and the world is literally open for you. Like, whatever you do, people are going to be nice. Yeah. I notice when I'm with my girlfriend, everybody's nice to me. I don't know, you know? Or even if you're not super attractive, people are at least not assholes to you. And as a guy, you're just like, you're nobody. Like, as a guy, like, you know the saying, like, women and children are loved for who they are, and men are loved for what they do. Yeah. Like, men have to deserve love. And so that's kind of like the stigma under which you walk around as a young man. And then everything is impossible. Like, you can't do this. You can't talk to that girl. She's not going to like you. She's out of your league. You're the bottom of the bottom. Because as a young 20-year-old, you're competing with 35-year-old millionaires. Oh, yeah. You know? You're just like, what do I have to offer? So this whole dating thing helped me to really understand, like, oh, well, if you're funny and you're yourself and you're able to be at least somewhat charismatic, you can actually walk up to a girl that's completely out of your league and she can still like you. Yeah. So that was like, that opened my mind, just like you said, of like, this is possible. Like, people have to be open-minded that things are possible. So for me, I just extrapolated that, and I'm like, so today I talked to a girl, and I'm 172 centimeters. She was taller than me in high heels, out of my league, and she gave me her number. If this is possible, what else is possible? And then, you know, my mentor back then, Owen Cook, said, like, if you do what I'm saying, you're going to make millions. And I'm like, I don't believe it. I don't think so. But this might just be one of those things that ends up being very possible. Of course. Yeah, and that's how it kind of was for me. And now I don't really have this mind fuckery of like, it's not possible. Yeah. It's just like, it is, and it's a matter of time and effort I put in. Yeah. The only question is, do I want to put in the effort and time? If yes, cool, go for it and let's make it happen. If no, no problem. You have other standards. Yeah. So yeah. What's your goal?
My goal?
Well, yeah, what do you, I mean, you're crushing it. You've got married you're winning in every conceivable measure. What's still up there for you?
I want to have children.
Okay.
And I want to not teach. Teaching is a bad word for this, but I'm like, I want to give them some of the life experience, or like, I want them to be entrepreneurs, but I kind of don't want to like ruin it for them. Like, I'm not gonna force them to be entrepreneurs, but I kind of want to. But even if they don't become an entrepreneur, it's just the same mindset I want to give them. That really helps. That anything's possible, and it's not like bullshit. Make believe everything's possible.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole niche of that. But like actually putting in the work and learning what the strategies that take you there will take you there.
It's pretty epic that's your answer. I want to have kids, and I want to give them everything that I didn't have, and I want to teach them the cool stuff. Yeah. So, how many kids you want?
Just 2.
Just 2. All right.
I know myself. Like, that's probably gonna be my limit.
All right. How serious are you thinking of it? This year, next year, next 5?
Year, actually, the first one. Yeah.
Let's go.
That's the plan.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome. And okay, let's say next year your first son or daughter gets born. They come up to you at maybe 10 years later at age 15, 16, something like that maybe. And they're like, Daddy, I want to build a business.
Fuck yeah. But if you do want to do anything else, it's completely okay.
What do you teach them first?
I don't know, man. Honestly.
Okay.
It's hard, but probably like the basics. How to, what's that fucking book? How to meet people. How to make friends. How to make friends and influence people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some copywriting shit, because even if we don't have writing anymore, the same rules apply.
Yeah.
Some psychology.
Yeah.
Some fucking math, because they have to know their math. Like, I don't know if we'll have paid ads, but probably something similar.
You don't think paid ads will exist anymore?
Probably not in the same way. Like, you're thinking about it, it's all like algorithms figuring out who gets the views and stuff. So,
but it's still gonna be paid. It's like,
I guess so. Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Okay, that's that. Hold on.
It's probably gonna be different. Like a couple of years ago, it was a bunch of dudes just calling each other and saying, "Hey, I want to place an ad in your fucking magazine."
Good point.
Yeah, it's gonna cost this much, and that was media buying. Now it's just you go on Google and Facebook and you do this stuff,
and the algorithm finds your perfect audience.
Yeah,
you say, show this to 35-year-olds in the U.S. with an interest in golf.
Yeah,
go. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean that's a good point. Damn, I never thought about that. Yeah, I mean, it's all algorithm-based, and it's like way more efficient than ever before.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally say, only show this to this demographic. I mean, yeah, you still get some stragglers and whatever. But how do you think is it going to be in 10 years? Like, where is it going to move? Algorithms are probably just going to get better at it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a big black box that you don't even know what's happening. You kind of just have a goal.
So you
these companies will spend your money, and you kind of get something out of it.
So you don't even think you have control over the targeting? You're like, this is the offer. Here's the money. Go nuts.
I mean, maybe.
Damn.
Like that, you have to give some pointers probably still. Like, what do you want? But there's probably not going to be as much targeting.
Yeah, maybe not even. Maybe it's just like, maybe you're like, okay, I want you to show this to this demographic because this is our audience. And then the algorithm has figured out that there's a demographic that has 18% more match rate.
Yeah.
And that's actually this one. Do you want to use that instead? You know, and they're like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it. Here's the crazy thing is like, I actually think, so there's like things that the algorithm already knows before you know it. Like I've read about people that are like, the algorithm realized that I'm pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Like because of
you
the
were
stuff.
Searching,
yeah. And that is fucking scary. Or like you get ads about divorce lawyers because the algorithm knows you're looking out for other shit like that. Yeah. So I could imagine that. I mean, there's no other way around that other than the algorithms are gonna they're gonna switch from like, oh, you need this now to hey, this is the stuff you'll need.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah. That's
what's the scariest shit. So they they go from a kind of like a reactive state to to an active state of like, oh, like you're gonna need a divorce, FYI, and you might not be consciously aware of it, but your browsing behavior indicates it with 98% accuracy. You're gonna get divorced, and here's the lawyers, and here's the service, and here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn.
That can happen. Like,
damn. And then guess what? It's like, hey, bot, like maybe, okay, this is like some super paranoia stuff now, okay? Maybe it will be like, cops gonna show up at your door, and they're like, bot, hey, like your browsing behavior shows you're about to have like an aggressive episode. You're like 90% likely to cause harm to others. You gotta come with us. And you're like, I haven't done anything. They're like, well, but we know.
You will be.
Yeah, like some Minority Report thing. You know, the Tom Cruise movie. But then at the same time, you know, like people always like, oh, we gotta stop it and AI and yada yada. But then at the same time, you know, maybe your doctor calls you and is like, hey, you'll have cancer soon.
Yeah.
Like take these medications, dude. And you're like, oh, cool. Thank God. Like, I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you can prevent a lot of shit.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so your kid comes to you. You're going to teach him the basics of business.
Yeah.
How much hand-holding will he do? Do you let them fuck up? Do you build a business with them?
I think you have to let them fuck up. Like, if you hand it to them, you introduce them to all your connections and all that, it's just not going to be as good.
Yeah.
Like, maybe some help here and there. But overall, I think you need guiding principles. Experiences. Take them, do shit. Make them feel that they can suck at something, then do the thing again and improve. Be it swimming or anything, like something casual. And that applies to business as well. Let them pitch people. If they can pitch people, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's almost more important to teach them that fucking up is part of the game.
It is, yeah.
Than them not fucking it up, you know?
And enjoying the process, really.
Yeah. Damn, man. One question I ask everyone, I also want to ask you. Best $20K you've ever spent?
Outside of mentorship?
Yes. Because I was going to say you probably go, so mentors.
Yeah. Just experiences, travel.
Anything specific?
20K. I would say going to Jamaica with my wife. That was awesome.
Nice.
Well worth the money. Yeah.
Okay. Worst $20K you've ever spent?
Worst 20K, also mentorship.
Oh, yeah?
I had some shitty fucking stuff I bought, but I was a retard back then. Didn't know anything. Just, yeah.
All right. Apart from mentorships?
Apart from mentorship, I don't know, man. Like, I'm pretty careful with my money. I invest a lot. Oh, fucking NFTs. Like,
oh!
It doesn't even register anymore. Fuck.
What did you buy, an ape? Did you buy a bored ape?
No, I was actually promoting NFTs at the time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
You promoted it.
Yeah, and at the time it was fucking awesome. Like, we were kicking off projects. Like, I had like 4 projects that were in the top fucking 20 on OpenSea.
Damn.
Not at the same time, of course, but like after each other. And I wasn't investing anything. I was just taking my money from the client because it was my client's project.
Yeah.
And then the fucking 5th one, I'm like, okay, you know what?
Oh,
This
you got
works.
sucked in. You got sucked in.
I got sucked in. I started buying my own project. Then I looked at this other fucking project. Oh, this is really good gaming stuff. I played the game, whatever. I blew like 50 grand on that fucking project.
Oh.
And I was just looking at my history the other day, and it was like, I brought this NFT for 5K. I brought this for 10K. Now it's for like $20.
Ah.
Because that's when the fucking, like the Ukraine situation happened. Russians invaded. Everyone was talking about World War.
Yeah.
People pulled out money from the NFT markets, and it never fucking recovered.
That's interesting. So you think it had like a direct effect on the NFT?
I'm
thing?
pretty sure, yeah. Like
Damn.
it took like 2 weeks after that, because people are, when stuff like this happens, people are pulling money out of this super speculative stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going all in on something that will survive, even if they have to go, or, you know, basically Bitcoin. They're buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin's good. Or they're buying gold if you're a little bit more on the conservative side.
Yep.
Or you just want fucking cash so you can get out of the country if you want.
Yeah.
And you just don't believe in speculative shit anymore.
Yeah.
So that's like a direct effect.
That's interesting because I had observed it. I was like, oh, fuck this NFT stuff. And then all of a sudden it was gone like very quickly. I never connected it with, it was the war that kind of like.
I mean, I think so. Like you're trying to.
I mean, it definitely took the news coverage away from it. And then, interesting. It never recovered. Damn. Do you think it will recover at some point?
I don't think so. Maybe like the top projects, like the apes and stuff.
Yeah. Do those apes still?
I don't know what they're.
Are they still worth something? The Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah, that was big for a while.
That was real big, man.
I remember being at this event, and they had like the private event within the event for like holders of the NFT.
Was it baller? Was it like a cool party, or was it all weirdos?
I don't know. I didn't get in. I didn't have a fucking ape NFT. But it was probably sucked.
No offense, but I imagine that's so like just a bunch of nerds. None of them has fun. They're like sipping their champagne.
Definitely no girls in there.
Yeah, no girls. Like, what ape do you have? Well, I have this one. Cool, and then they can't have a conversation. They're just sitting there in silence.
Yeah.
And then they have some DJ who tries to pump the crowd up, and they're like, huh?
He needs an NFT too.
Who needs an NFT? The DJ needs an NFT. Well, man, let's wrap things up.
All right. Yeah. I'll probably have to go back.
Yeah, to your wife.
Yeah.
What is she doing right now? She's just chilling.
She's actually having calls with clients right now, like online. So I can't go back until like 7.
Okay.
But it's like around that time, so we're cool.
Sounds perfect, man. Dude, you're a legend. Thank you so much for being on the pod, my man. And I think you inspired a ton of people. Do you want people to reach out to you if they need something?
If they want, yeah, sure. I'm pretty friendly. I'm on Facebook. I'm on I don't have Instagram. I mean, I have, but not on my phone. All right. Facebook is the one.
Cool. So we're going to link your Facebook profile down below. Reach out to this fella if you want a free mentoring.
No. I don't do anything for free. But we can chat.
Okay. Hell yeah. He's a really cool guy. I can vouch for him. And thanks for being here, man. GG.
All right. Thank you. GG.
Peace. Good one, man. Good one.
Oh, man.
Dude, it was like 1.5 hours or something?